Hey, what's up today? We're doing a Words of Wisdom extra bonus today. Recently, I've been reading the book Think and Grow Rich. Think and Grow Rich is a classic, and I've read it before, but this time I kind of look at it from a different angle. And I've been reading, and the author, Napoleon Hill, refers to uh, it's necessary or actually beneficial to observe what he calls the infinite intelligence. I would call God. A lot of success writers call God the infinite intelligence because, number one, it's less offensive to more people. For instance, Jewish people can relate, Christians as well as Islamic and so forth. So it, it kind of relates to more people. But in reading that, it made me start thinking, how well do you know your God? You know, when I got out of college, I was an atheist, borderline between atheist and agnostic, I guess. And that went on for several years until I was confronted with more than I could handle. I was like a political candidate and uh, having my plate completely full. And then on top of that, I was an agent for a major real estate company, and I called on a few people that were of the political opposite party than uh, than what I was, and so I found myself fired. One of the few realtors that ever got fired around here, and so I had to start over. And man, it was tough because I'd spent most of my money trying to get set up or to sell real estate for this other company. So had to start over. So I had to take on temporary jobs and everything else to make my car payment and just stay alive. So which I did. I ground metal at a metal shop, which I'd come out black as you can imagine and dirty. I put together boxes temporarily. I swept floors, anything I could. And then it's kind of a hard spot because you can't really look for a job, or your opponent will know you're really hurting and will take advantage of them. Well, anyway, I did all of that, but anyway, I was a pretty much broken person. And finally, I accepted the fact that, well, there was a God. That was like in June. And the thought still kind of haunted me after that. I felt good. You could feel something inside of me would acknowledge that, yeah, there is a God and I can feel him. But I really didn't know anything about him. I would pray. I kept the thought kind of kept haunting me. Uh, well, what are you going to do about Jesus? What are you going to do about Jesus? Every time something would come up and I would hear about Jesus, and I didn't know anything, and I didn't know the Bible. I knew a few people that were Christians, but I really didn't feel like sharing with them. So in any event, it wasn't until the following January that I finally even invited Jesus into my heart. After that, I started growing more. I started learning more about who God was. And it wasn't until actually I got into studying the Bible that I really started learning who God was. And that's been an ongoing process now for 40 some years. And hopefully, and I learn more every day about who God is. And thank God we have the Bible to teach us that. Well, there's one thing that I ran across here about wisdom, and that's in Jeremiah 10. And this is what the Lord said. It says, let the wise not boast of their wisdom. Let not the mighty man boast of his might. And let not the rich man boast of his riches. But let him who boast this, that he understands and knows me, and that I am the Lord who practices steadfast love, justice, and righteousness in the earth. For in these things I delight, declares the Lord. And the more you study the scriptures, the more you realize that they are so real, and the and more comes out of every day. And it it gets to the point where you never really know everything, but every day is kind of an adventure. And it's been proven over and over again that there's more proof that Jesus existed than Christopher Columbus. And Jesus verified the scriptures. When he talked about it and said, this is the way it was, that verified the scriptures. That's enough for me. I mean, some people want more proof. I don't know how much more proof you could have. It comes down to a question of faith. But in any event, the thrill is getting to know your infinite intelligence. And if your infinite intelligence steers you right, you're going to grow and love it more and more. But there is caution. Sometimes that feeling we get inside, knowing that there's an entity out there, an infinite intelligence, you will, there could be deceiving spirits that could steer you the wrong way. So my advice would be stick to the proof, the Word of God. Hey,